Industrial casters are used to move heavy equipment from one location to another. The wheels make it easy to move mining machinery, large medical devices, or factory carts, wherever and whenever it's required. The size of the object determines the size of the casters used to move it. Heavy items need casters with thicker wheels. Some larger objects may need multiple wheels to evenly distribute its weight. First, they make the top plate, which mounts the caster underneath the object. They begin with a thick sheet of steel. A computer-guided cutting machine combines oxygen and electricity to produce plasma. This incredibly hot flame melts the steel to cut out the part. They make several other caster parts out of steel coil. It's a thinner, more flexible type of steel. They feed it through a punch press. The press strikes it with a yoke-shaped die. The yokes are the arms that hold each side of the wheel axle. Workers place each yoke piece in a forming press. The press bends the piece into the required shape. It also makes a circular groove around the hole in the middle. Next, they fill the groove with steel ball bearings. These bearings allow the yoke to swivel. This steel retainer holds the ball bearings in place. They fill the grooves of a steel cap with ball bearings as well. Then they place it in a punch press and position the yoke on top of it. The press joins the cap to the yoke's retainer, sandwiching the ball bearings in between. After riveting the top plate to the yoke, they put a steel seal over the retainer. They lock it in place with a pneumatic press. This factory purchases nylon wheel inserts from a supplier. Workers place the inserts in an injection molding press. The press melts neoprene rubber and injects it into the mold. Once it cools to a solid state, the machine ejects what are now rubber-edged wheels. This process takes about 4 minutes. The rubber edge absorbs shock, reduces noise, and prevents damage to the floor. When this factory needs to make larger wheels, they use a different injection molding press, one that can make wheels 5 times larger than their standard models. It works exactly like the other injection molder, except it only makes one wheel at a time. A worker carefully places the wheel on a cool-down rack for 2.5 hours. The wheel molds are made of 2 parts. The parts form a seam once attached. A worker grinds down the rubber seam until the surface is smooth. Now that all the caster's parts are ready, assembly can begin. First, they place a 2-part bearing inside the wheel and lock it in position with the pneumatic press. Next, they install a steel guard on each side. The guards prevent anything from getting inside the wheel and inhibiting its movement. They position the wheel between the yokes and insert the steel wheel axle. A bolt head secures one end, and they attach a nut to the other. Then they tighten everything with an impact gun. They inject grease to lubricate the ball bearings. This factory runs random samples through a series of quality control tests. A machine applies weight and counts how many revolutions the caster can withstand before it finally breaks. This factory also makes special casters for oven and freezer carts using rubber wheels, built to withstand extreme heat or cold. Their ball bearings are also lubricated with grease that doesn't freeze or melt. Casters can also come equipped with a foot-activated brake.